Okay, we're back here. We're going to go over the Aprilaire 700A humidifier. This one has the automatic humidistat. How that works is it uses an outdoor sensor to compute the outdoor temperature, and that'll determine the amount of humidity on a day-to-day basis. So this one requires no regular adjustments. You can see it has a dial here, goes from off all the way up to 7. The higher the number being a higher temperature curve, which will give you more humidity overall. You can see here it also displays the current humidity reading throughout the whole house because this sensor probes into the ductwork. So right now, system's off, but we just had it running beforehand here. We got 37% humidity in here, and that's what the homeowner is actually requesting. So it's doing right what it needs to do here. This one has a blower activation feature, and the way this one is wired up, it will actually kick on a call for humidity. It'll actuate the blower so you can get more on-demand humidity. It has a couple of features here. It has a couple of light indicators. Call dealer for service, so if that light was on, that would tell you there's a problem with the humidifier, time to get it checked. Also tell you when to change the water panel, and it'll also tell you when it's running. So and there's a test here. We turn this knob here, you can see which setting you're on, and if we turn all the way to test, we can hear our humidifier kick on, and it's running. So you can see the lights on, but we are in test mode, and you can see the blower's just kicked on. So now we're humidifying the air without even running the heat. Go ahead and turn that off. Okay, next step is we're going to go over how the humidifier actually works and how to service the pad. Okay, we're back here on the side of this is the actual humidifier itself. This is the power humidifier, the 700. So how this one works is you have a water line coming in here, and it goes down to the bottom here, which you may not be able to see, but there's a solenoid valve down here. And when the humidistat tells the humidifier to come on, it actuates the solenoid valve, which lets the water through, and it also turns on the powered fan. There's other models they make. They're called a bypass. It'll be the Model 500 and the Model 600. Those don't use a power fan. They use a bypass pipe that goes from the side of the humidifier back to the supply, and then it uses the furnace blower or air handler blower to circulate the air. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is take this off. Just clips off the bottom here. We'll be able to show you here. Always want to have the power off when you're doing this. When you pull this off, it kills the power, but just to play it safe, you always want to unplug the power pack. Here's the fan blade. You can see that's what's going to push the air through there. And there's also a computer board behind there, which you can't see. It's inside here. But that's what controls that. So we'll just set that down here. Okay. So our water line goes up through here. And it comes across the top here. And this tray up here fills up with the water. And the water evenly distributes down this pad. And the excess water drains out the drain tube here. So what happens, this pad gets nice and wet. Soaks up really good. And when the air blows the air through it, well, you're transferring the moist air into the airstream, and that'll get you your desired humidity. As you can see here, this one is definitely due for a change. It's starting to get minerals and deposits on here. If you let them go too long, I've seen customers that let them go too long and they start to actually develop mold and mildew, and that's not something you're going to want to start growing on your humidifier or your ductwork. So typically if you got good city water coming in, you could get away changing this once a year. If you have well water, really hard water, you're going to want to change that more frequently. So we'll take this pad off here, and you can see this is our top distribution tray, and there's all the water inlets, so all the water will evenly go on there. So you can see this just popped right out. To change it now, we pop off the top piece here, and we set that aside. And you're not going to throw away the case because we're going to need to reuse that, but this is the piece that's going to go in the garbage. You can see that just slides out. Okay, so you can see this one's fairly clean in here. Sometimes you could get a lot of deposits or build up in the tray, and you want to go ahead and clean that out. So, let's put a little water on here. This is a genuine Aprilaire water panel. Number 35 is the size this one requires. There are knockoff brands out there, but overall Aprilaire brand humidifier pad is what's designed for this, and that's the one that they recommend. So we're going to go ahead and open it up. Kind of like the air filter, you could use the old box to throw the old one in, especially if you got one that's in pretty bad shape. We'll just set that to the side. You can see here, this one doesn't have any minerals or buildup because it's brand new. They do put a coating on here from the factory that helps keep the metal mesh intact, and it'll last a lot longer. You can see here, there's different sides. There's usually a paint strip on the top. That's the side you want to face up. The way that this cone mesh material is, it kind of cups the water. So if you put it in backwards, the water comes down. A lot of the water could wick off, and you'll see the humidifier dripping. You know, it could leak into the ductwork. So you want to make sure you got the proper orientation on that. So what we're going to do is go ahead. We got our tray here that we saved. I'm going to go ahead, slide this straight down. We take our lid. Once again, if you get a lot of buildup on that lid, go ahead and clean all that off. We're going to go ahead and just slide it right down, and the sides just snap right on. It's the one thing I like about the Aprilaire humidifiers. They're very easy to work with, very user friendly. So the next thing is, this was the drain port we were talking about. That's going to be very important when you insert this back in. And the notch up here is for where our water line is. So we're going to want to face this to go towards that water line. You can see it's going to go like this. So what we do is we take the drain end, and our drain end is going to go right here. So we want to start with that, and then we just take this and push it forward. And what I always like to do is check it and make sure your drain's in. That'll prevent you from having water leaking all over the place. And the last step is, well, we got to reinsert our cover. It starts on the top, and this one has a little clip on the bottom. You can see, that's it. And then you plug it back in, turn your furnace back on, and you're ready for operation.